I'd like to also acknowledge the presence of State Senator John Sabatino, and Councilmember at Large Al Taubenberger. I'll talk about the big guy here in a minute. So I'm thrilled to be in the Northeast this morning, but really more thrilled to help open this new Northeast Center, which is a one-stop shopping for residents who want to make use of city services without having to schlep downtown. The relocation is part of the administration's strategy to make city government more accessible to the people and connect directly to the neighborhoods. It's also to assist community development. This building had been vacant for 8 years, so this effort has taken neighborhood eyesore, transformed it into an office that can serve the needs of all the people in Northeast Philly. At this center, you'll be able to pay your taxes, water bills, receive other forms of assistance, and of course, avail yourself of the great constituent services offered by the long-term and terrific Councilman Brian O'Neill. Having Councilman O'Neill in the community is an example of bringing city government directly to the people. And before we cut the ribbon, I just want to say that when I look at the national debate between Republicans and Democrats, and then I come home and look at how Republicans and Democrats work together. Brian O'Neill obviously is a long-standing elected Republican council member, and Al's a newly council member at large. It's nice to know that bipartisanship and all that stuff is really important when we're dealing with the lives of everyday people. So I served with Brian O'Neill for 24 years in council before I ran for mayor. He has been a voice of reason, a great mentor for me in giving me ideas as I was young coming into council, and a lot of what I am today was because of his advice and mentorship. So I want to take an opportunity to ask him to say a few words. Thanks.
I guess 10 terms counts as a long-standing councilman. But I wanted to comment on a couple of things. First of all, thank Mayor Kenney. When I asked him if I could be part of this project and have a small office here to service the people of Rhawnhurst and the 56th Ward, he didn't say, well, I'll think about it, and I've got a couple of tough votes coming up, and anything like that. It was a quick yes. And, it made me feel really good. Councilman, now Mayor Kenney, it's still,
I know.
it's a lot of years, Jim. Mayor Kenney appointed the best set of service deliverers, commissioners, cabinet members that I've ever seen, from top to bottom. This is what really matters in the government, is delivery of services to people, handling complaints, trying to help people on a one-to-one basis. And Commissioner Perry, Commissioner Breslin, I could go down the whole list. Commissioner Bridget, as we tend to call her, Bridget Collins Greenwald. These are top-notch people. It's top-notch. If you look at 10 terms, you wouldn't find better people running these departments. And it's right online down the list. And Jim's staff, the people that work in city council, it's been less than a year, but it's a dramatic change, not just in the last 8 years compared to the previous administration, but compared to all of them. And we just have people we can work with, and everybody's just looking at one thing. How do we better this city? How do we help people more than we have in the past, and give them as much as we possibly can? And I don't know what else to say except thank you, and not just for this office and these offices for our 2 departments, but Jim, for using your experience and listening to people, obviously all over the city, and appointing a real A-team. And you can't ask for more than that. That's what it all comes down to. I will just say one thing. I had a call from a constituent yesterday, a businessman, and he had to tell me before I got off the phone why we should be supporting Jim, even though he might be a little more liberal than the 2 of us. And I told Jim that myself. But we don't take those things personally. Jim doesn't have liberal views or more liberal views than mine because he thinks it's good politics. He doesn't care if it's good politics. It's what he believes in. And that's all I have to know, because I want him to know that when I differ with him, it's what I believe in. What we do agree on is serving the people and serving them best. So this businessman said to me, a few weeks back, I got a call from a worker in my company who's a big brother, and he had a real bad situation with a little brother that he had been working with, and the big brothers. It was a foster care situation. Horrible facts I won't even go through. 9 o'clock on a Saturday night, Jim picked up the phone when he called them. Had the whole thing under control by the following Tuesday. The young man, 10 years old, is in the Lower Merion school system. I won't go through the details, but that's the kind of mayor we're dealing with here, and that I'm proud to serve with, and will continue to work in a bipartisan manner. And this helps me work also in a bipartisan manner with Senator John Sabatina and Representative Ed Nielsen, because it's a Rhawnhurst first. It's not about R's and D's, or nobody cares about that. They just want to know whether you can help them. And when we work together, the mayor's office, council, the state offices, that's how we help people the most. So thanks again, Mayor, and we really appreciate it up here.
I just want to take another opportunity to point out two stellar commissioners, Dave Perry and Frank Breslin. Dave has just remade in a short period of time L&I into what it's supposed to be, and that's a public safety agency, making sure that people are safe. And I just thank you for continuing to serve. And Frank is a dogged, go get the money guy, and he's not going to let people get away with not paying their taxes and not doing the things they're supposed to do, because all that money that revenue collects goes to pay for services like this, L&I, police, recreation, all those things. So Frank is an extremely important part of what we need to accomplish in this city. So I'm very happy to be here. I'm very happy we're going to cut the ribbon. Who was in charge of the project?
Who was in charge of the project? Public Property, Howard Aponte, right there. And Felipe Valles.
Felipe?
Felipe's here, so here
Please
he
come
is,
up.
these two, yeah.
I think it's appropriate maybe you cut the ribbon.